We'll be okay. Okay, we're going to do a session about automating the app layer with two Chris's. I'm Chris Twies, that's Chris Jurgen, and I'm going to give it to Chris.
Yep. Yeah. First, we're going to go to the agenda. First, introduction, who are we? Then, why are we automating stuff, just in general. Then, take a moment to look at AppLayering, what it is. And then we're going to look at how to automate the AppLayering, the creation of app layers for Citrix AppLayering and for VMware App Volumes. After that, we're going to take it one step further on the automation part as to so you can hand it off to other admins in your organization. Yep. Well, that's me, obviously. Working for Consensus for the last 1.5 years. I've been in Citrix for about 8 years at in Citrix, about 10 years. Basically managing environments, building new environments. A lot together with Martijn and Link, my colleague.
Yeah, so I'm Chris Twies. I work at Tektron in the Netherlands. Also like 10-year experience in creating and managing virtual workspace environments, strong focus on virtualization products, and recently became part of the vExpert community, which I'm pretty thankful about. So, my wife isn't here. She doesn't want to come. Oh. So, why would you automate? Well, actually this is of course a really easy question. You don't want to do stuff over and over again, and especially when we talk about app layering and your customer has like 100 or 200 apps. You don't want to click through that GUI every time. It needs to be automated. An old wise system admin once told me, if you have to do it once, or if you have to do it twice, it's worth automating it. You could better be lazy and automate it once, then every time do it again and again. So do stuff quicker and more consistently, app layer hundreds of applications, I told you, and create time for other things that are more fun, like innovation, going to the cloud, create time for going on Twitter, Slack, Netflix, and of course create time for excessive alcohol consumption at the E2 EVC. That one is of course really important. So who of you uses automation in their daily work? Everyone should have to raise their hands up because you need to automate stuff. It's the best way. So I'm going to hand it over to Chris.
Yeah. So what is AppLayering? How many of you have tried AppLayering, even just for once? How many of you use it in a production environment? And how many of you guys enjoy it?
Correct answer, right?
Yeah.
0 or what?
Yeah, it was 0. Okay, this is obvious for most of you, but not all of you. This is basically the setup of AppLayering. You got the operating system, so if you're Windows 7 or Windows 10 or whichever Windows you want. The platform layer. The platform layer is usually for stuff like middleware, your virtual delivery agent if you use Citrix, stuff like that. Then application layer. Well, think of any application. You can have Adobe Reader, you have AutoCAD, you have Office, Publisher, stuff like that. And then if you user layer. User layer is basically for profile settings, data, and user installed application. Is it obvious for everyone? The good part about it is you can create various desktops that are different from each other for various kind of users. But if you need to change one layer, let's say you need to update the VDA or you need to update the operating system, you just need to customize one layer. So that should save you a lot of time when you're updating stuff. Well, the Citrix variant previously was Unidesk, now it's called Citrix AppLayering. Not much has changed since it's been on the market under the Citrix brand.
Yeah, so the VMware App Volumes, it used to be Cloud Volumes, so it's also a product that is bought the difference between like app volumes and Citrix AppLayering is app volumes is a lot easier. It's just you create a VMDK, you mount it to an agent, and you install the application, and you say finish, and that is your layer, and you can do whatever you want. It doesn't control OS layers and that kind of stuff, so you can just mount it anywhere. And I talked to the guys, some people at VMware in the V Expert Slack, and I don't know if they really, like Citrix is really pushing AppLayering, and I went to Synergy and all sessions were AppLayering. And I talked to the VMware guys on the V Expert Slack, and they were like, yeah, we don't know yet with this whole thing. And you can see that they are not spending as much time on it like Citrix is doing. So, but that is the VMware app volumes. So, and yeah, the next one, you have another one. It's Liquidware Flex App. It works kind of similar like the VMware one. It's you also don't have to create a whole OS layer. It's just create an application in a file, and anywhere where you have the profile Unity agent, you can mount the application. So, yeah, the next, what about the automation side of things? So, we looked at Citrix AppLayering, VMware App Volumes, and Liquidware Flex App. I talked to the guys at Liquidware, and they are primarily focused now on going to the cloud with Flex App, not yet on automating. So there's no API, there's no SDK. But they are willing and going to work on that in the future. App Volumes, is there an SDK or an API? Well, out of the box, it doesn't come with anything, but it uses an API which Cloud Volumes created, and they bought Cloud Volumes, and they just said, okay, we're not going to support that API anymore, so it's no. And then the Citrix AppLayering is the same. It has an API but not supported anything. So, yeah.
Will that stop us in trying to automate things? Of course it won't. So let's take a look at AppLayering. First I want to show you through the steps you need to do when you create an app layer, just the manual steps. So what's the first thing you need to do? Log in. Oh, right. Can't do that. You need to use Internet Explorer and not Chrome, because you still use a Silverlight. Anyone know about any developments on changing that? Benny?
I don't know.
No?
When it comes to the consoles, I have no idea.
Okay, so basically you log in, you create an app layer, and one of the differences is with Flex App and App Volumes, you basically have a sequencer machine. Citrix AppLayering creates one for you. So you just say, yeah, you want an app layer, and you show your OS layer. You define your OS layer which you want to use, and use that OS layer to create a sequence machine on which you can install your applications. The challenge with that is when you automate it, you don't know which machine that is going to be, what's its name, what's its IP address, so you need to find it out. But I'll come back to that a bit later. Then if your machine, install your application. I used FileZilla as an example. You make the changes you want, and after that you press the shutdown for finalize. It will run a script and shut down the machine for you. When you've done that, you go to the application and, well, I guess I'm missing one slide. You still need to add the application, press finalize, and it'll do some stuff, and then you have an image which is deployable. You can use it to create an image. So how to automate that? Luckily, I had it. We divided it up. He did the VMware part, and I did the Citrix part. Luckily, I had it pretty easy. Get that back to that. First, the steps need to be automated. You need to create an app layer and wait for the VM to be created. Copy the installation file. The OS layer isn't domain joined, so you could use a network share, but it's easier just to copy it. install the software, shut down the VM, and talk to AppLayering to finalize the layer. Luckily, for me, there's this guy, Ryan Butler, that created the PowerShell SDK. He basically did the same thing as the big man next to me is going to show you in a couple of moments. He just read out the API calls that the product makes and created a PowerShell module just from that. You can install from the previous gallery, just ctxal SDK, and these are the commands that are included. It just isn't that hard.
But it's not supported, right?
Yeah, I talked to the guy who created it, and he mentioned very specifically it's not supported by Citrix, and please do it first in a test environment and not directly in production. He takes no responsibility if you mess it up. Okay, I just want to give you a quick rundown of the script I created. Won't make it too long. Don't want to make it boring for you guys. Can you guys read it or need to zoom in? It isn't that complicated. The main part is this part. I have a location where the executable was found. Now, the main goal of this presentation, of this automation, was can it be done? We were not planning to create any perfect solution to create app layers, but the question was just, can we do it?
Was it like for a challenge for us? Can we automate this part? Can we do it? And we cut corners somewhere, so
Yeah.
not really production
Yeah.
ready. Yeah.
So it only works now for single file installations, like Notepad, like FileZilla, like 7-zip, stuff like that. Well, define your actually want to install and the installation parameters. All the other stuff you can forget about. Let's see, there's one. Some of you guys are probably wondering what about MSI files. We included that. It checks if it's MSI file you define, it will use the MSI exec to run it instead of just running the exec. Like I said before, you don't know the name or the IP address of the sequence machine. So we're using Chris's own lab environment, which uses ESX, so I need to use PowerCLI to find out what the IP address of that machine is. Luckily, it creates a machine with the name of the application you define. So if you name the application application 1, the machine is called application 1 with what date numbers and binding. So it finds it out, it gets IP address, copies the file to it, installs the software, and then runs the finalize script for you. It isn't that complicated. However, Citrix AppLayering isn't the fastest product in the world. So creating one app layer like this in a decent environment took me about 20 minutes. With Chris's environment, it took about 30, 40. But it doesn't matter that much because it's automated, so you don't need to do anything. But still, Citrix AppLayering isn't as fast as app volumes.
Yeah, at the same time, to create on my lab environment, he took to create one app layer. I created 3 app volumes. So
okay. Okay. For some of you, this is going to be boring. We just made a video of this, how it runs. So basically, you don't have any app layers. You didn't saw any app layers in the AppLayering console. I'll show you here what I'm going to install. So you define which base image you use, what's the application name, what's the description, where's the file, what's the file called, and what's the intent installation parameter. So basically, it connects to the AppLayering, it connects to VMware. Oh, excuse me. And waits for the machine to start up. Like I said, it's not a perfect script yet. I need to use some start sleep, so I need to guess how long some would take. I'm planning to improve it by just waiting for specific signs.
Yeah, and that's what we mean with it's not really production ready. I did the same thing. I just did start sleep. Oh, just wait 3 minutes. You know, and if you want to make it really production, you want to make sure that when you're waiting on something, you don't estimate it. You're going to check the machine, is it up, which services are running. So, but for us, it was just a proof of concept. Can it be done? So, just enter the start sleep, enter some minutes, and it's okay.
Okay, oh, a bit too fast. It is also application. It also checks for pending reboot. So if there are any reboots needed before we finalize it, it does that. After that, it runs the shutdown command. You see, there's the shutdown for finalize. It's going to run that. The machine will shut down, and after that, it will give the command to Citrix AppLayering to finalize the app layer, and Citrix AppLayering will do stuff, and then for that it will wait for it to complete. And after that, you now have an app layer which you can use. So basically, the script takes a while, but the only thing you need to do is define the installation file and installation package, and of course name and description. Yeah. Then I'm going to hand over to Chris. On to the good part.
So now we're going to talk about VMware app volumes. So, who of you have ever used app volumes? Okay, few. I don't think it's as popular as Citrix, but what I said, VMware is also not really pushing it really hard. So, but still, it was a challenge for us to see if we can do this also in VMware. So the steps I needed to automate is, well, I work with a sequence machine, and actually VMware app volumes you can create an app volume on any machine that has an agent. But I use just one machine. I call it my sequence. So I need to refer the snapshot of my sequence machine before the application was installed. I need to boot that machine. I need to create an empty app stack. I need to provision that empty app stack to my sequencer. I need to install my application. Then comes the greatest part ever. I need to press enter 3 times in the machine, in the sequence machine. You literally have to press enter. You cannot close the process or anything. So that was a challenge to automate. Then I have to wait for all the reboots to be done. Then you have to press enter again after the reboot. Awesome. And then shut down the sequence machine and tell, and then with the last enter, the sequence machine tells the backend of app volumes that it's done, it's finished. So, and then repeat it for the next application. So yeah, Chris was telling you that for Citrix someone had written an SDK, so that was great. Well, for app volumes there wasn't an SDK, so I needed to find out yeah, which API calls are made. So I took a look at Postman and stuff, but actually I found that the Firefox development tools are actually really easy for this. I hope you can see it, but as soon as I logged in to my App Volumes management console and I opened the development tools in Firefox, I just got the post login, and Firefox gives a nice, and Chrome doesn't do this, it gives the parameters, so the variables that it has entered. So you can just see here which user is logging on. So I know the post, the URL, and the code. Yeah.
There's a blog article out from Chris Halstead with all the.
Yeah, there is one blog article out there with some API calls,
Yeah.
but it's not complete. So I couldn't finish it completely. I used some of that, but some things I need to do. On my blog where I posted the complete script, I also linked in because it helped somewhat. So, for instance, creating an app stack. You can see I did a post, I did create my app stack. You can see here, this is the URL it's talking to, so I know that is the post URL I need to go to. And here I see the variables, the parameters, what it told the app stack. So here you can see it's Firefox. So how do you translate that to PowerShell? Well, you do it like this. Invoke a web request, you do a post, the URL, and then you do a question mark, and then you do the parameters, and you fix the parameters to each other with the and sign. Don't know how it's called in English. And to make it a bit faster, do the out null. When you're testing, don't do out null, but if you want to do the script a little bit faster, out null, then it doesn't have to go from the URL to JSON back to PowerShell. Your script will run faster. So here's another example. What I did was, this is to see if the app stack is created and is ready to get an application in it. So I do a get jobs pending, and this I do convert from JSON to a PowerShell object so that I can do a pending jobs pending and then wait until it's equal 0 so I know that it's finished. So that is the API. Okay, then I got the next problem, this problem. So you really need to hit all those enters to finish your deployment of the application. So I tried all kinds of stuff. And probably one of you in the room has a smarter solution than that I make. I'm sure of it, but it worked what I did finally. But I tried all kinds of stuff. Tried just killing the process on the machine externally. No, because you need to hit enter because then the next one is coming. I tried to send key commands to the, but if you do remote PowerShell, you're not in the GUI session. You're in a non-GUI session. So you can do a PowerShell script from look for this box and hit enter in the box, but it's not working with remote PowerShell.
You have a process called SV service.
Yeah?
You have parameters that finalize into
Okay.
the process with command line.
Yeah, I looked everywhere for it, but there was no documentation and stuff. So what I told, I think there must be a smarter way to do this, but I did it the following way. What I told you, this is not production ready, this can be a lot better, but it works. We did the proof and we got the app files. I just do create a PowerShell script on the sequence machine, and that PowerShell script, this is the PowerShell script, it searches for the app, VMware app volumes, and it sends this symbol, which is an enter. But yeah, I cannot do this with remote PowerShell. So I thought, I don't know what I do. I create a batch file, and I put it in the startup folder. And then I just say reboot the machine. Then the boxes come back up. The batch file starts to run, and it hits enter 3 times. It works. Really stupid, but it works. So, yeah, what I did was I created 2 kind of my scripts. One is just to create one app layer of app volume, and the other is to create an app volume from an XML. So here you have an XML file. In that XML file you can see that I got FileZilla, Firefox, and Foxit Reader. Where is the installer located? What's the name of the installer? And the parameter to install it silently. And you can add as many as you want, and it will create volumes for each one. So let's do a demo of the script. We filmed it. So, as you can see here, I don't have any app stacks at the moment. It's completely empty. So I'm going to go to my Visual Code. I'm going to hit run. It's going to revert the snapshot from the sequence machine. And it's going to boot my sequence machine. So here on top you have the sequence machine. Another thing that I did was I did auto logging on the sequence machine so that you get those enter boxes. Yeah.
For the snapshots in VMware, did you install the VMware SDK on the machine that you run the subscription mode?
Yeah. On I do Power CLI to refer to snapshot and stuff. So Power CLI is installed on the management server, which I'm running this script on. So my sequencer is booting. Oh, you can see here, while my sequencer is still booting, I'm already creating the app volume of the app. The app volume, the app stack. So this the app stack is created, and it's done the check from is it already there. It's still waiting for my sequencer to boot. As Chris told, I got slow lab environment. Oh, it's hardware from 2010, so.
He has blade servers at home.
Yeah, I got blade servers, but they're from 2010, so. But it's good enough. So it's now still waiting, and as you can see, it's automatically signed in. It is domain joined, so I can just do stuff from the from a network drive. I think, yeah. So here is the part where we just did, where I just did a start sleep, and I timed it one time. How long does it take? So, but this must be a little bit more intelligent if you want to use the production. So what it did now was it copied the FileZilla file local from the network drive and copied it local to make the install a lot secure. And as soon as it's finished, so it's now provisioning the app stack. So you can see, hey, I got an app stack. I'm in provisioning mode. I got a nice enter box. And it says starting the installation of FileZilla. So that takes a couple of seconds. I don't know if it's going to show an icon on the desktop. Don't know if FileZilla does that. Didn't check that out. No, it's finished. So I did here. I copied the hit enter batch file. I copied that to the start menu. I do that in the script and not on the sequencer machine snapshot, because that would mean that as soon as you boot the sequencer, it will do those hit enters every time. So now it's just waiting for the reboots to finish. So because when it's now rebooted, that screen will come, which you need to hit enter. My batch file will run and hits enter 3 times. It will automatically reboot again. That is just how app volumes works. It always reboots again. And then it comes back with another enter box. Well, my batch file runs again. It does again the enter box. And it's finished. So, I'm gonna wait. So this was really tricky. I looked at some command lines, I tried some other stuff, but in the end it was just from, okay, I need to finish this, we need to do a presentation, I'm going to do it in a very dirty way.
It works.
It works, right? Yeah. So in a minute you will see, okay, I need to press those enters. Well, here it comes. It does, okay, go, hit the PowerShell script. It did an enter for me. It does an enter. Okay. And it now says we're going to reboot to finish the app volume. So I'm going to skip ahead now, because to wait another reboot of the slow machine will drive you guys crazy. So in this part you can see the next part of the movie demo, I did speed some faster because I did an XML with 3 applications. And in the end, you can see I got Foxit Reader, Firefox, and FileZilla, all the app stacks created automatically. So the goal was finished, and we celebrated. So now I'm going to hand it over for the last part, the steroids, the Marcelo. Chris.
Anyone had a limoncello yesterday? Did you like it? That was love. Okay, so you saw how we automated this. Basically, just created 2 PowerShell scripts that does it work for us. But how can we take this one step further? So what we did, just switch over.
I have to type in the password.
Yeah, your password.
Yeah.
So if it's a PowerShell script, you can just add it to the automation module. Of course, you can use any other automation tool. You just set this on this environment, so why not use it? So basically just the same script with some parameters. So when I schedule it, it's slow, the Wi-Fi isn't that great. Just asking the same thing: name, description, location, and app installer file and the installation command.
And the nice thing about automation is because it's in your environment, you already all know your passwords and stuff, so you can have that pre-configured in it. So you only need to enter this part.
You saw with the previous part, when I opened the module, you saw more variables, but these are already filled out, and these are just the variables you need to enter. This works. I'm not going to run it because, like I said, it takes a while, and it won't make you any wiser. But there's also a next step. What if you want your application managers to do this themselves? So, what we did, the Wi-Fi slow. Oh, there it is. You create an identity director, you go to the identity director, and it basically has the same thing, name, description. But the cool thing is, you can just upload your extra file. So you download your new FileZilla, your 7-zip, or whatever application you want to create. You define it, you upload it, you define your installation parameters, and you run it, and it does everything for you. As for the other one, I'm not going to run this because it takes a while. We don't have the time because here already has the 5 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, we're ahead of schedule here.
Yeah.
So,
okay. Any questions so far?
yeah.
If I'm using AppV now for my packaging, is there a reason why I should switch to AppLayering?
Well, I got an opinion about AppV. I don't think that it's the most recent technology.
It's working.
And I don't think Microsoft is really going ahead with AppV a lot. So I think the future more in that kind of perspective is the MSC IAX. But yeah, this can work in certain situations. This can work perfectly. If you have multiple images, multiple customers, and they you can have the same image for the financial department as for the sales department, but they each get their own subset of applications. And especially if you don't have a strong user environment manager which separates the apps and which does app locking and stuff, then this can be really handy because they just don't have those apps. You know, we're used to just putting all those apps in there and then take a workspace agent and locking everything down. There's no need for that if the applications aren't there. So that's a good use case for this. Yeah. And furthermore, what Chris just showed you with this AppLayering, this is so great. You can just give the service to an application manager, and they can create a new app layer. They don't have to know anything about scripting, anything about automation. They just got a form, fill it in, upload your exe file, your MSI, and it creates the layer for you. And you can even send those guys back an email from it's created, do you want to mount it to your machine, all those kinds of stuff. So that's great. Any more questions?
So in the Citrix AppLayering, can you automate everything? Things like assigning layers to users and exporting, import, all, yeah?
About themselves, about automating it.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't actually look into that. The main goal of us of this presentation was to see can we automate creating an app layer. Because when I tried creating app layers with AppLayering, it just took a while.
Yeah.
So we thought, why not save some time?
But all the command lists you download, there's one for virtually everything.
Yeah, yeah, you can do a lot more, but I didn't look into that.
It's the same with VMware. You have API calls to assign it to users or machines. You can do all those things automated.
And I personally think, like I've created, like we created an identity director. I think AppLayering itself should have some wizard to do stuff like this. So to stop all the administration hassle and just give you a wizard which allows you to specify an application and installation parameters. Just make it a bit easier, because now it is a good product, but managing it isn't that great.
Yeah. A few things. First of all, from the benefits you talked about, the one thing that I found we're doing a lot of this with the IP work these days. The other benefit is the quality of the package coming out actually turns out to be a lot better. I think that's the best benefit, because as you go through and you go through some testing, you see something wrong. If you automated it, already done the job of automating that install, to go back and make those corrections and get that package to be the best that it can be, you tend to do that much more, so you get much better quality. So from a benefit I would add that is, those are the things I mentioned, is that in the Windows ADK, there is an auto sequencer package in there. There's a PowerShell in there you probably want to grab. It does a good job of figuring out when is that VM ready for you to start doing that work. You just grab that snippet out of there and use it. They're looking at when it basically when is WinRM ready. Yeah. So we're creating packages there. It is taking about 5 to 6 minutes for a small package like this. So a much bigger difference in that time it takes. The other thing that we've been doing though is we're separating out the dependencies from the app. So for any app, you actually have 2 scripts. One for the dependencies, you keep them out of the layer. You do that before the layering starts against that light VM, and then you do the capture piece. And that makes a lot of sense to keep yourself set up in that type of mode. I think that would be a great extension of what we're doing there.
Yeah, good suggestions. I actually thought about finding something that checks if the machine is ready. So the suggestion you made is
I've also appreciate, by the way, I have a PowerShell module called Passive Install that's up. They can get off of our site. And we use that quite a bit for the actual application installation and configuration piece. And it tends to help out taking care of things like, the installer dropped a shortcut to the desktop, you want to remove it. And it makes it easier for you to script those things in.
Yeah, especially if you want to take this to production, it's really clearing everything up. It needs to be done, and what is so. For us, it was just a challenge. Can it be done? Can we create it? We have an empty GUI with no app stacks, no app layers, and we want to just press F5 and see how far we can go till it's there. But I think you make great suggestions if you want to take this to production and stuff. You really need to look in that. Yeah.
Okay. One more question for you guys. Any of you brave enough to still use personal feeders? Not all at once. Of course, personal feeders are deprecated, and they now want you to use the Citrix AppLayering and then the user layer part. Anyone tried that? It's worth looking into if you now use personal feeders. It's a okay alternative. Saves you a bit of hassle. So we're about to wrap it up. Thank you for joining this session. For listening.
We have the complete scripts we used in this. So the complete scripts we used in this presentation for you guys is on our site. So if you want to take a look at what Chris created, go to chrisjerke.com. If you want to take a look at what I created for VMware, take a look at Workspace Bureau. It's I think by both of us the most recent blog at the moment. So just go there and you find it. And you can, what I told you, it's just a proof of concept. It works. Take it and run with it. Create whatever you want with it. So I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
We're finished. So
if you guys use it and you have any improvements, please let us know. We're very interested to hear about it.
any questions left? Then we're on time. Oh, wait, one.
Final verdict? What's your final verdict now?
About which AppLayering solution?
Yeah, or?
We're not going to compare AppLayering solutions here.
But
We're not going to do it. We're automating them.
But do you think it's ready enough? No, not for production.
Well, the products themselves are ready for production, and you can go with it. But the scripts are, what we created is not really production ready.
Yeah, but from an administration standpoint, I think we both agreed that the app volume was a bit easier. It was
Yeah.
a bit more clear as to what you're doing. On AppLayering, there's a lot of stuff in the background you don't know about. I'm
One question.
usually more into Citrix, but with this, I'm actually giving props to app volume.
Yes.
So we are still pushing the volumes a lot, yeah, and
Okay.
we have a session review at VMworld, Barak has a session,
Okay.
and there you'll see some new stuff.
Okay.
For GMP technologies.
Yeah, I talked to some guys at VXP, like also from VMware, and they were like, yeah, okay, we're not gonna do the API anymore, not support it, and I don't know about apps volumes. I got a really cold response, so I don't know.
Who is it?
I can check, but okay, it's great to know. So you guys saying we're gonna go through all that. Okay, that's great because it's what Chris said. It's a really easy product if you compare it against. So we're gonna do a small comparison. Just in administration, VMware is a lot easier. It's a lot easier than the whole AppLayering.
Go to Barak's session at VMworld, you see a lot of it.
Okay, Barak session at VMworld. All right. Okay, yeah, we're done. Okay, thank you.